How do the Packers do it? Is the NFL stupid? During the NFL draft, every team is hoping they pick the next Hall of Fame quarterback with the ultimate goal, that quarterback leading your team to a Super Bowl victory. Yet over 80% of NFL QBs drafted in the first round never make the playoffs with the team that drafted them. So how is it possible that the Green Bay Packers have been able to defy these odds? The Packers have utilized three essential factors to guarantee the success of their quarterback. Like making the correct draft pick, these videos take a lot of time and effort. Please consider subscribing. During the 2004 season, 35-year-old Brett Favre was still playing at an elite level in the NFL. He finished the season top 5 in passing yards and touchdowns. But when it came time for the Green Bay Packers to make their pick in the 2005 NFL draft, they unexpectedly selected Aaron Rodgers with the 24th pick. An eerily similar situation to what transpired to 36-year-old Aaron Rodgers prior to the 2020 NFL draft, in which Jordan Love was selected with the 26th overall pick. A major difference in the way most teams approach the quarterback position when it comes time for the NFL draft. Usually NFL teams are not looking to bring on a first-round quarterback talent when they currently have a top QB. While this may seem counterintuitive to winning right away, this can lead to more success for a franchise long term, but more on that later. In most drafts, quarterbacks with high potential are prioritized, and struggling teams look for them to be the answer. Since Love was drafted in 2020, 9 quarterbacks have been selected in the first round, and a majority of them have been asked to be the day one starter, due to their team not having other options at the position. Teams like the Jets and Browns have relied on drafting top quarterbacks in order to try and revitalize their franchise with little success. The Jets have failed to reach the Super Bowl with 3 different first-round quarterbacks, and the number for the Browns is 4. The Green Bay Packers have chosen to take quarterbacks before it is the last resort. A team that implemented a similar strategy was the Kansas City Chiefs in the 2017 draft. Although they did not have the same caliber of quarterback as Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, Alex Smith had led his team to the playoffs in 3 of the last 4 seasons and was considered a respectable starter in the NFL. With the 10th overall pick in the 2017 draft, the Chiefs would select Patrick Mahomes, but would not ask him to replace Smith right away. Instead, they chose to apply the second strategy the Green Bay Packers have utilized to ensure the success of their quarterback. Patrick Mahomes would only play in a single game during the 2017 season, and he would be asked to sit and learn behind Alex Smith. When the Packers drafted both Rodgers and Love, they asked him to back up and learn from the veteran that was already there. Rodgers would sit behind Favre for 3 years, and he only played in 7 games until he eventually took over the starting role. Love would sit behind Rodgers for 3 years and played in just 10 games while making a single start due to a Rodgers sickness. This development period helped change the course of their careers. Rodgers and Love were able to sit in the quarterback room and learn from their predecessor instead of being asked to lead their team day one like most quarterbacks. Before they became the starter for the Green Bay Packers, Rodgers and Love struggled in the games they played in. Rodgers had completed less than 60% of his passes, and Love barely averaged 60%. Numbers you would not expect when drafting a first-round talent, and it makes you wonder, if they had been selected by another team, would they have been given this chance to develop? Most young quarterbacks are drafted by subpar teams with minimal talent around them, and they're asked to produce wins right away. It's easy for struggling quarterbacks to lose confidence in their game and ability when they are put in this situation. By allowing a young, talented quarterback the time they need to learn NFL defenses, especially from a top quarterback, they have the ability to make mistakes in practice and in the film room before they happen on the field. Even if you believe that both Favre and Rodgers were not happy with the selection of a new quarterback, Favre even going as far as saying his contract didn't require him to get Aaron Rodgers ready to play. By simply being in the same building and playing together on the practice field, a young quarterback is able to see and learn from the already talented starting quarterback. Whether the veteran chooses to embrace the role as a mentor or not, they are doing so without actively pursuing it. Considered to be the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady sat and learned from Drew Bledsoe for an entire season before injury gave him his opportunity. Something that he and the current best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes, share in common. In the last 10 years, they're the only quarterbacks with multiple Super Bowl victories and have combined combined for a total of 8 Super Bowl appearances, one in which Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes played against each other. It makes you wonder how many first-round QBs' careers could have been different with simply 1 or 2 years of development. Which brings us to the final key difference the Green Bay Packers employ on their quarterbacks, treating them for what they are, development projects. There is no quarterback that is selected in the NFL draft without several weaknesses listed on their college game. Whether it's a knock on their mechanics or their ability to see and read the field, no QB can escape this. Not only that, but defenses become far more advanced and the game is played at a faster pace when compared to college. It's very rare that a rookie quarterback comes into the league and thrives. With a year or two of development, coaches are able to work on fundamentals and reads that are required to be successful in the NFL. Looking back at the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in the last 20 years, only 2 of the 11 were first-round selections and asked to be day one starters. Peyton Manning and Matthew Stafford both struggled in their NFL rookie season. While these quarterbacks are able to overcome the difficulties and develop into exceptional starters in the NFL, it's not the case for most rookies. Some quarterbacks are never given the opportunity to adjust like they would if they sat behind a veteran talent. Once again, 80% of first-round quarterbacks are never able to lead their team to the playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold was famously caught on mic saying he was seeing ghosts, in reference to his inability to process the New England Patriots defense. While some of this could be attributed to the Patriots defensive scheme, more often than not, young quarterbacks have never been in situations where defenses are so complex. While there is no replacement for in-game experience, and Rodgers and Love's first seasons as starters both had their issues. However, Jordan Love was able to reach the playoffs in his first year as a starter, and Aaron Rodgers in his second. They were allowed valuable time both on the practice field and in the film room to develop their knowledge of NFL defenses and process in-game mistakes. A team that could have applied all the same factors the Green Bay Packers have used was the Indianapolis Colts in 2012. Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning underwent a neck surgery that required him to miss the entire 2011 season. The Colts would struggle and end up with the first overall draft pick. When it comes to the number 1 pick, teams are more likely to select the next Jamarcus Russell than they are the next Peyton Manning. Andrew Luck would be selected, and instead of having Luck learn from Manning, they chose to release him from the team. Luck would struggle his rookie year, but eventually adjusted to the NFL and could have potentially amassed a Hall of Fame career of his own had he not decided to retire early. Manning would go on to lead the Denver Broncos to 2 Super Bowl appearances and a Super Bowl victory. While the Colts reached the AFC Championship in 2014, they were still searching for their first Super Bowl appearance without Manning. Could Peyton Manning have changed the trajectory of Luck's career had the Colts chosen to allow Luck more time to learn from him? Only time will tell if the Green Bay Packers have once again developed a first-round draft pick into a future Hall of Famer. And if so, will more NFL teams start to draft like the Packers?